Hello, my name is Waho. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Ivan. It's interesting when people ask me where I'm from because recently I've been getting a lot of those questions, and within Lithuania I usually say I live in Vilnius. If I'm abroad, I think I would say I'm from Lithuania, although originally I was born and raised in Russia. I study sociology, kind of into science, social science. Finished my bachelor recently, and now I'm just continuing through. I don't really see myself outside of the university environment. I love it there. There are open-minded people.
Okay, it's good. Can you tell us what is your hobby?
Oh, I like biking. I like politics. I like debating people about politics. I like learning about people, about how people interact. I do a lot of talking. I try to be out there and try to listen to people, learn from people. But biking is just something I do to get around. But also I'm trying to, I guess many of the things I do, I try to make them political. And my biking is also quite political because I'm really against
Political?
cars. Yeah,
Oh,
I do political biking. I think that urban environment is not a place for cars. Cars is for villages and places without infrastructure. And within cities, cars is just an excuse to not do well, to not make good infrastructure, which hurts urban environment quite a lot. So yeah, I mean, I'm just embodiment of many different agendas. I guess my hobby is to enact them everywhere I am. The gay agenda, the cycling agenda, the sociologist agenda of deconstruction of all of the social norms, being incredibly critical and placing the seed of doubt within every single person I speak about. I guess one of my other hobbies that is kind of also I make jokes about trying to point out that every single person I speak with is racist. I'm trying to find out what kinds of attitudes they have and expose them for what those attitudes are. And recently in Lithuania there was this situation with refugees from Africa and Middle East. And
from Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From some places in Africa. And but when the Ukrainian situation happened, Lithuania tried to proactively seek out Ukrainian refugees and try to care for them, for their well-being. So there were announcements in, for example, grocery stores. Attention, in our store, there are people who work here who only speak Russian, Ukrainian. Please be mindful of that, and we are grateful to be able to provide work opportunities to various people. I'm still waiting for the same announcement saying that, attention, there are people in this grocery store who only speak Arabic. We are grateful to provide work opportunities to people from various places around the world.
So I have other questions for you, some personality. Can you share what made you began to question your sexuality?
What made me begin to question my sexuality?
Yeah.
Um, Heteronormativity. I mean, it's not like being gay is what makes you question yourself. Is the environment that makes sure for you to internalize the attitude that heterosexuality is the only norm. That's what makes you not okay with yourself. And the problem is not really that you experience sexual attraction to many different genders, including your own gender. The problem is that you exist in an environment that tries to persuade you that's not okay. So the questioning happens from the heteronormative perspective. You doubt yourself whether, well, is that okay how I feel? What should I do about it? Should I not do anything? And in my case, when I was going through puberty, I was living in a small village in Russia, and I have never seen a movie where gay characters were openly in a romantic relationship. This whole piece of life was incredibly alien to me. I knew nothing about it. And my reaction to experiencing sexual attraction to guys was to say, well, heck, I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. I better not do anything about it. So I just decided to put it away into a long-term problem list. And I thought, oh, I will figure it out at some point in the future. And I decided that romantic and sexual things are not what I'm interested in, and I shoved it away. So the questioning is not you actually questioning who you are. It's you questioning how to cope and how to exist.
Yeah.
You cannot go against your nature. Like, you're experiencing either you feel something or you deny how you feel this something.
Yeah. Can you remember your family's reaction or friends?
I kind of live in heaven, so I'm totally good in every aspect. I'm out to everyone. Maybe not my extended family who live in various different countries, but to my parents, yeah, I'm out to my parents, to all of my friends, but the thing is, it was a long process, me trying to feel free with myself and become okay with who I am. But when I did, it was quite easy to talk openly about it.
Yeah.
It took some time with my parents, not because they were of not a good opinion about it. No, they are very liberal, and they are very okay with many things. It's just I tried to make sure they are okay. I tried to figure out what their attitudes are, and only when I was sure that the reaction is gonna be okay. It was a whole process. First, I moved out from my parents. Then we started talking about politics a lot, and I learned that they're okay with gay people. And then we started talking about it openly. Yeah, but with my friends, first, people kind of, for LGBT people, relationships with your friends are very important, and in many cases much more important than your relationships to the family, because family might not always accept you, but friends is the people you form this close relationship with. So my friends were the first people I came out to, and right now it's kind of, my friendship group grows within and around queer community. So it's kind of expected that we're all queer and everyone is okay with that.
Yeah. Thank you for this answer. Now I'm interested in about your studying more. Can you explain more your sociology study?
Well, it's trying to figure out people. Kind of, at first when I was in high school, I was fascinated by thinking about where people live. So I moved around quite a lot. I lived in place right outside Moscow. I lived in a small village in Russian countryside. I lived in Riga, in Prague, and in Lithuania in a couple of places. And I was trying to look like what places where people live and look like, and how it relates to how they behave in those places, and what kind of relationship is there between the place and behavior of people. And it led me to think about urbanism and architecture. So the first thing I enrolled to was architecture, but I realized that what I'm studying is just design of 3D things. And what I wanted is to understand people, understand how they behave. So I thought I should really go into something more academical, something more about people. So I chose science about people. And that's kind of what it is about actually understanding the social world, deconstructing the rules, how it works, deconstructing things that people take for granted because that's just how it is. But in sociology, there is never just how it is. There is always, well, why is it like this? Trying to see the norms that people behave by, trying to look at processes, how they are constructed, trying to recognize social phenomenon without bias, trying to explain them how they are without stereotypes, without prejudice,
Yes.
Going from people's experiences, not from narratives. Or if you do use some sort of political or cultural narratives, you state them as such. You don't just take it as it is, you try to look at it from the context. People draw parallels between sociology and history, for example, because sociology tries to place social phenomenon within socio-political, social, cultural contexts, kind of like history, because in history you look at how things relate over time, but in sociology you might also look at how things relate horizontally within right how it is right now, how different social phenomena affect each other, how people affect each other as within the social system. And for me, I'm really interested in critical theories and conflict theories. I'm interested in looking at what kinds of forms of alienation there are in our social environment, how people hurt each other, what kinds of systems push people apart. I'm quite a fan of ideas introduced by Marxism, and it's kind of, I have very leftist political values. So I'm also really into using science as a tool to make the world a better place. And I think sociology is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
That's why conservatives and Nazis pretend that sociology is not a science. They say that mathematics, physics, hard sciences are the actual sciences. But when you talk with them about sociology, when you talk with them about explaining actual social phenomena that happening, what you get is a denial. They cannot interact with accepting sociology as a real thing because they are not in touch with reality.
Okay. Now I want to ask you. You have experienced some romantic relationship in Lithuania. Can you tell us about this party? I don't know name.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I came out of the closet just 2 years ago. And my sexual life is just 1 year old. It's all just very new to me. I've been trying to date people in Lithuania for a long time, but it's very hard. I end up vibing with very few people, and it's very hard to make people open up in here. So when I first started online dating thing, trying to look for people in my community, try to form some sort of connections, I found it very hard to connect with local people, and I ended up chatting more with people abroad on a platform where on OkCupid, because it's more, much better to connect people who have similar perspectives on life, similar values. And I ended up talking a lot with one guy in California. In USA. We had 10 hours difference, but I've been feeling very bad at the time, and I really was craving for a connection. So we kind of ended up just going down a slippery slope, and it shouldn't have been a relationship, but we kind of sort of stumbled into a long distance relationship. But after a while I realized that it's really not working for me. And
is it hard, right? Is it hard?
Well, I realized that I'm not feeling anything to that person, and I'm not really romantically attracted to him. And it's just a big learning experience for me, because still up to this point it's very hard for me to understand, do I like someone, do I not like someone? I've never had a crush, I think that I never had a crush. I don't know, just I have a lot of questions. Right now I'm dating a guy, and we're trying to be open-minded about what's happening, and reflecting about how we feel, and seeing how we should proceed. So right now I have a lot of questions about it, and about myself, like, am I just a person incapable of having strong romantic feelings, or did I just not meet some right person? Because like there really are people who are aromantic. And I'm trying to ask myself, like, really, can I have strong feelings for someone, or do I already have strong feelings for someone? Am I missing someone? Who am I thinking about? How am I thinking about them? So yeah, I'm really in the process of self-discovery about this particular question.
Okay. Where can you find your partner here in life, not online?
Like where people look for
Yeah.
Romantic relationships? I have no clue. But being gay, you cannot assume gayness of other people. Sometimes your gaydar does guide you, but not always. So it's not like you can just hang around in any kind of party and flirt with guys, because absolute majority of people are not gay. So it's about either being in an environment where it is mutually understood that people are queer, or it's about online dating. But online dating freaking sucks everywhere, especially in a post-communist state where people have huge problems with self-esteem. They are afraid of everyone and everything. They do not talk openly about themselves, and it's just a cluster cluck of, like, I don't know. It's super frustrating, and takes a while for people to trust each other. You go on a date and like nothing happens. It's not exciting. You don't talk about anything. The person is super afraid to share any personal things at all. So it's very hard to form a deeper bond with people with whom you're not already in a very good relationship. And usually it's just friends of friends. A lot of people find people through work, through volunteering. Lithuanians have pathological problem with small talk. People don't do small talk here. So then you're in a position where if you're just next to a person, it's very hard to make any sort of deep connection unless there are other things in life that force you together. You're in the same workplace. You are in the same social club. You're interested in the same things. So I feel like in Lithuania, people tend to bunch together based on some very strong things that push them together. Then people end up being in quite good relationships, but they have only several friends. Like with one of my friends, we joke that Lithuanians only have 1.5 friends, and they end up marrying this friend and not hanging out with anyone else. I feel it's kind of true. It's quite reductionist. I mean, there are people in here who are quite open to hanging out. They have a lot of friends, but usually it's just about several people, and also people are very guarded about what kind of friendships they have. And for example, if people are at a party, they tend to stick closely together to people they already know, and it's very hard to push them apart. And even if you go to a gay space, if you go to clubbing, if you go to a gay club, people go there together with their friends, and good luck flirting with them. It's almost mission impossible.
Yeah.
So I have no clue. I had close to no success with any Lithuanian person, and the person who I'm dating right now is not Lithuanian. So no clue.
Okay. Can you share some bad experience in Lithuania or other country?
What kind of experience?
How can I say? Bad experience.
Bad experience?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had one date when a person was only talking about himself for 2 hours. He was disregarding all of my suggestions about what to do, what I would like. I didn't feel like he is interested to hear anything from me. It was just me asking questions about him and him boasting about how great his personal philosophy is and how cool of a person he is and how many good things he does. And it was going on like this for 2 hours. In the middle of it, we went to a cafe, and he barista there was his friend, so he ended up talking with her for a while. And like, I mean, dude, do you understand that I exist? Do you even understand that you should be talking, not monologuizing? Like, dude, come on. I hate that guy. I had very weird experiences with going on a date with Russian guys. There is a Russian-speaking university in Vilnius, and there are quite a few queer people in there. I went on a date with one. He was late for 1 hour. When we met, he proposed to go on his errands, and we went to try to find a translating agency. We were translating a document. Like, what do you want to do with me? Like, what is this all about? Am I your slave or something? And I really felt from that person that there is an expectation that you have to work, you have to give yourself to that person, you have to work for their benefit like a slave. And it's very weird how people in Russia, like a lot of people in Russia, have this exploitative attitude about everyone they meet. It's so disgusting. And one other Russian guy I met, we actually had awkward conversation. I have nothing against awkward conversations. I like awkwardness. I think awkwardness is cute. Like this situation where both people understand that they like each other, but they're too awkward to express anything, and they just end up just sitting there awkwardly together. I think it's kind of cute. So we were talking about nothing important. Then I mentioned something about politics and my leftist values. He said that Putin uses leftist political and budgetary means in order to oppress people. And I'm like, okay. Then he sat for a while looking into his phone, stood up, said he had to go, and he left. Like, what? People are so random.
Yeah. Thank you. And finally, some people hide this orientation, LGBT people. Do you have some experience that shares them?
With other people who, well, there are a lot of people. So there is this place where gay people look for sex. It's called Grindr, and there are a lot of guys there, and a lot of them use having sex as some sort of compensating mechanism for all of their anxieties in life, and like, you know, this type of hyper masculine macho that tries to dominate everyone, that but he's doing that because of incredible amount of anxieties, right? So there is a lot of this in there, and a lot of people in there are afraid of themselves. They are totally not okay with themselves, but the only way how they express this gayness is to go and fuck random guys without any personal connection. So there is this whole, like, a group of people, a tribe of sorts, called discreet. The whole point is that they want to have anonymous sex, and I think it's such an incredible turn-off for me. Like, I would not want to do anything with people like this who are hiding, who are not okay. I want to be openly out. I want to walk on the street in my crop tops with looking gay, and I want that. And people who hide and pretend that they are okay in heteronormativity. I think it's just incredible turn off for me. I want people who are have good self-esteem, who are okay with themselves, okay to show who they are and not be afraid of who they are. And but a lot of my friends are very open. They are quite out there, even if they might not be fully out to their parents. Yeah, I think even when I'm friends with people, they are very open with me, but they might be very diplomatic with their parents, and that's quite often the case.
Cecil, thank you for your answers.
Thanks for your questions.